Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of our Cardiff Zoo, and the second video I've actually ever created, as I'm sure you know if you've watched the first episode. The first episode we built the black-tailed prairie dogs. I know I got it wrong, I said it was the black-eared prairie dogs. I have since changed it, it is the black-tailed prairie dogs. Today we won't be working on them. In this video I wanted to focus more on the bat enclosure. That was going to be the first episode that I ever created. Unfortunately, as you know, that video wasn't able to be published as it couldn't be recorded. So in this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on the outside of the black bat enclosure and making that look really nice and finishing the rest of the frontal part of the zoo where you would walk through. This is a half-an-hour episode. I hope that's okay. I know the first episode was 20 minutes long. It was thrown together, however. I do apologise if you hear me sneezing or I sound a bit stuffy. Hay fever. I'm sure you know it's ridiculous. Pollen at the minute in Britain is everywhere, and everyone is suffering because of it. So I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope you enjoyed the first episode, and let's talk more about the what you can see, what's going on, as I'm sure that's what you're all here for. So right now I'm working on the rock structure outside of the bat enclosure. I'm sure you can see me creating this sort of archway that it was originally going to be an archway. Unfortunately I didn't follow it through because, for one, I didn't think I would quite like an archway there, and two, I felt that it would be perhaps a bit too imposing on the landscape around it, and I wanted the focus still to be on the cave itself where the bats are. So I left that how it was and decided to work on more public restraints. So you can see me building a fence here out of, I believe they're the Africa logs. The Africa logs and the Africa bunting ropes that really work well together to make this sort of thrown together fence that I really enjoy. I really like it because it looks so natural, and I think I may use this somewhere else in the zoo for any natural looking enclosures that we may be doing. So I'm just placing it around the path here, making it fit. And one of the things I really struggled with this fence is that I couldn't get it to fit the way I wanted it to fit. So you can see me having to mess around with using the tools to try and get it to locate in the exact position I wanted it. And I know it wouldn't necessarily look like this if it was to be real life, but let's just pretend let's just pretend, okay, that this is how it looks. And I decided not to go all the way down to the bat enclosure. I figured that if you're already making your way down there, you won't need any fences, because I can't see anybody running up those rocky cliff edges that I created when I was creating the bat enclosure. Again, I decided that I needed something at the front. I apologise for my chair, it's very creaky. I needed something for an entrance, so I decided on this really nice wood that came in the tropical pack that just came out, and I decided that I would make a little archway out of this wood that would fit in the front of this enclosure and orn it quite nicely, shall we say. It originally wasn't going to be how I planned it to be, but I think it came out looking quite nice. I really enjoy the way that it fits with the terrain around it and really exemplifies how you get to the bat enclosure. for one, I think is really nice. While that's going ahead, I will just talk about the bat enclosure that I created, because I know I didn't talk about it in the first episode. So the bat enclosure itself is just a singular entrance to a cave. Originally I was going to make it a through cave, but then decided against that because I quite like the look of the single open entrance. And it is placed underneath the visitor centre that you can see on top of the hill. The bat enclosure itself has several pieces of rockery, stalactites. Caesar creates his stalactite rocks that I really enjoy. I've used those to fill out the walls a bit, and it's not perfect. I probably will end up going back to it off camera and making some changes to that. But otherwise it is a really nice looking cave. And then I decided that the cave needed, just a quick mention here, that does translate to Egyptian fruit bat in Welsh. Have checked. Obviously Welsh isn't a language I'm common in, but I have checked that one. That does tally out. I'm not entirely sold on the styling that I've got here, but it will do for now. I can always come back to it later. Going back to the bats, I decided to put an entrance to the bat cave with I think they're mesh walls. Mesh walls to kind of simulate that the bats could have gone in and out before the zoo was there, and when the zoo came, apologies, I'm going to sneeze. I'll be back in a minute. And we are back. So yes, as I was talking about, the bats are they're locked into the cave to make it more suitable for visitors, shall we say. Fruit bats are quite a lovely bat, if I do say so myself. I would love to go and see a fruit bat in real life. Fruit bats are my favourite animal. I've had many favourite animals through my years, and since playing Planet Zoo, fruit bats have become my favourite. I love them. I love their little faces. They're just little flying mice, shall we say, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you will agree. So that's the bat cave. There are some signs that I took from the workshop that it will be in the description, that are located at the back, such as the Africa sign, as well as some other standing signs that I got from the workshop as well. I will put them in the description too. They're really good work from the person who made it. It doesn't quite come off the tongue right now, I can't remember their name, but it definitely will be in the description should you want to use them. You'll also see pictures of the bats, or videos of the bats, at the end of this video. It's for the last 2-3 minutes, I believe. The rest of that is just creating the exterior that I hadn't done again because I figured that the recording hadn't worked just before I got to creating the exterior of the Batcave, so that worked out in my favour, and to yours, to all of you watching as well. While I'm still creating the sign for the bats, I'd just like to say thank you. My first video went down really well. I've had some really nice comments about the zoo and about my creations, and I'm really happy. It was never something I was going to think about doing before, and I never even thought about doing YouTube before I published that first video, thinking that it wouldn't really go anywhere. And for me, having even just 10 views from people and 3 or 4 reviews about that video, coming back super positive and super kind, it's changed my outlook on how I view people watching videos online, and I'm really happy. I really enjoy that you enjoy my videos specifically, and it prompted me to create this one as a sort of a thank you to say that I will be doing more. And if you're listening out there, for that one in particular person who gave me a really lovely comment about how much you enjoyed the video, thank you a lot. Also thank you to Caesar Creates for liking my post on Instagram. That lightened up my day a lot. Right, so we're roughly about 10 minutes into the video now, so that gives you a good idea of where we are. We're still working on the front entrance to the bats. So by front entrance I mean the sign for the front. I'm using those chains there to figure the sign to the rest of the wood encasing. I believe these came from the. I think they came with the butterflies. So that, I believe, is the Grasslands pack. They came for the butterfly inside the butterfly enclosure that you can use, and I guess I'm still using it for an enclosure because the bats go into an enclosure. So I guess you could say I'm still using them for an enclosure, but they look really nice just to hang something on. I really wish we could change the colour. I'm not super set on the silver looking colour, but if you're not looking at it too closely, I think it goes quite well. And because we've already got a silver sign that I'm still not sold with, I think they work together quite well. One of the things you can see me doing here is I really struggle with the tool system sometimes. It is super strange to have a tool system that doesn't move the way it should. And I really struggle with those tools that don't quite line up the way they're supposed to. I have learned different techniques, as you can see me doing, that work for me now. They're still really annoying. These breeze block curbs that you can see me placing now, again, a super annoying piece of work that I wanted to add. It's just that extra level of detail that you maybe could have got away with not having, but I really like the look of them, and much to my own agony, they do look nice being done, but they're horrendous to place. I really don't like, or really don't enjoy, the way that they interact, shall we say, with the tools. You can see me here placing down my custom fence. Again, having trouble with the tools. Anything round is not my... I really don't want to use anything round in Planet Zoo because the tools just don't like anything round, and I really wish they'd place forward. I get that they face north as much as they can, or wherever they face to. I'm just going to say they face north because it's easier for me. But again, they're just super annoying. So as you can see here, I'm using the... I believe they are ceiling fan poles that put together makes quite a nice little fence. So I've used two, I think, stuck into each other, and then I'll duplicate that two or three times into making that fence, and then colour them the same colour as the wood to make them seem synonymous with the fence that will be duplicated around this enclosure. I use quite a lot of custom fences in my builds. I really like the custom fences. I know that Planet Zoo has some really nice prefab fences. It's just me personally, I tend to use prefabs a lot in my builds, and I really don't want to keep using prefabs, especially now I'm starting YouTube and giving content to you all. I want to give you some inspiration for your own builds, for your zoos, for your creations that I hope to see as well. And you know, having that built from you, having that, you built that as a whole is beautiful in a way, because it's you, it's unique to you, and I really enjoy that. What you can see here is I'm placing some rocks down. I tend to use Sw Caerdydd little tiny rocks, so I wanted to experiment with using some of my own, and yeah, they turned out well, but I think I cover them with bushes later. I wasn't quite happy with them, but you could make them work with both a incorporated false rocks from the aquatic pack to make that look really nice. You can see in the bushes that I've added 3 elephant statues. Now, those elephant statues were just a whim on my part. I really wanted something else there other than plants, and I felt like having a statue there that wouldn't necessarily have been put in just because I couldn't find a place, or you couldn't find a place to put them. Having them there, even though it's a bat enclosure, they look really nice. I wish we could change the colour of them. I really, really wish we could change the colour of them. And I understand that might be quite difficult. But I really wish we could, because it would make building so much nicer. Again, back to placing more rocks. I tend to go for the same rocks as always. There are a few rocks that I don't like using because I can't place them anywhere. I don't like the look of them. But I have a few. I have a few that I choose to go to every single time, and they make up majority of my landscapes. So you can see me here adding some trees. I felt like it definitely needed trees. So the larger one in the background, so as to not distract you too much. And then we have some little saplings at the front that I am using my custom sapling protectors, which otherwise you probably would get away with not using them. But I really like that little bit of realism that you get from incorporating something from real life, so such as tree protectors. You can see me here placing some lanterns. I created these lanterns out of lantern part and a small candle that together made into a group creates a really nice looking light, and I'm sure I'll change it to dark here so you can see. And it's quite ominous, but it works for the bats. I really like how they create a shadow for the bats, and they make it look so nice. I'm just adding a little bit of detail here. That was from the conservation pack. Not necessarily needed. I just felt like I should include it because otherwise I'll forget it. And you can see me here placing some periwinkle leaves. I don't have a good selection. I think Planet Zoo misses out on that. A good selection of, say, coloured leaves. We do have those fallen leaves there, the autumnal leaves, but I feel like they're just a bit too themed. And I feel like if we had coloured leaves, or at least leaves that we could colour, it would work better. But for now, they work perfectly. It is a look into the bat habitat. That used to be I wanted to have a cave entrance at the front and a little bit of breakage on the top, and so that is a grate that goes into the bat enclosure. Obviously, in real life, they may have used that to fly out of, for example. But I've added a grate up there and some personal protection measures because we don't want people falling in. Right, now back to the curbs, the most hated place of placement in Planet Zoo. I really wish we could... I really wish curbs were easier, so I really wish we could like snap curbs to paths or something. That would really make this job easier. You can see that I'm really struggling to find a way to make this work with the path. I did in the end go for a smaller breeze block curb, just because it's easier to maneuver, and I should have gone with that at the start, because larger breeze blocks can be quite hard to place. But I feel like in the end, it looked really, really nice. The reason we're here with the bat enclosure again is because I felt like it needed more justice. I'm not completely sold on the black-tailed prairie dogs yet. I still feel like I might need to make another video similar to this where we improve it, and that might be a theme going forward on this channel, where we build a habitat, and if we're happy, we're happy, but if we're not happy, then I can include a video like this where we can go back and fix it, especially if you want to comment with any of your ideas, with any of your suggestions, and if I like them, I feel like that would work really well in my community, in my way of working. I feel like that would work well, and if you agree, definitely let me know, because it's really helpful to hear all your comments. So we're coming up to about 20 minutes now into the video. We're getting closer and closer to finishing this outside of habitat. I need to stop saying that it's a habitat. It's not. The inside of it is a habitat, but that's already completed. You can see the curb there. It's not quite perfect, but it will do for now. And now you can see me working on the staff area. So I have, outside of the visitor centre, I have built a staff area. It's a very small staff area, and it's just fenced off from the outside where the entrance is to this side. And I really wanted to make it home that this was a staff only area, and using the colours of the Cardiff Zoo, which is a white and red. I wanted to make an entrance that wasn't really an entrance, it was more of a small gate. So you can see me here building the gate out of metal pillars, and eventually there'll be meshed fences with the poles from the ceiling fans. They took a while to make them work together, but in the end it did look really nice. And I did have a few struggles there where I'd be clicking and it would be getting the bats underneath or something through that habitat. It was very annoying. It would happen multiple times, and I'd end up copying the bats downstairs, and it was a headache. But it is now complete. The bats are fine. They look really good in my opinion. You'll see that at the end of the video with the music over the videos, which I've now added. I realised that in the first episode it did look a bit boring, if I'm going to say, at the end, where I added too many videos and not enough sound. So I hope that in this video it's around a minute long, or 1 to 2 minutes at the end of this video, where you can just see the habitat and everything that we built in this video as per usual in a YouTuber Planet Zoo style. So as you can see here, I'm still building the gate. I wanted to go for quite a small gate. It's about half to a little bit smaller than full size of a small person on Planet Zoo. I believe I used one of the staff to figure out whether it was tall enough, and here you can see me using the mesh to add in that small gate, which you could see that maybe you'd open the gate through the middle and it would just fold inwards instead of outwards, as would be the usual for gates. And I've also included that guest limiter. Even though they can't get through there as it's a staff path, it's just nice to have something that, it would look like that you can't go that way, and especially with all the signs and everything. So obviously we've finished the gate now, and I'm taking the fences from the front that I used, which obviously needs a bit of work, and I'll work on that outside of video time. I'm just adding these fences here that will protect the staff area, that will single off the staff area from the rest of the zoo, but also make it unique in a way that I want to create this style. So all staff areas I want to have this sort of style, so meshy, metally, industrialized in a way, but still natural and fitting with the theme of this zoo, which I feel like it does work. So here you can see me adding a little bit of natural support in for the fence. I didn't want it to just end. It looks really weird. I was going to add a curved fence downwards, but unfortunately I did trial it, but it doesn't look very nice. So in the end I decided to go with just this support and then a support on the other side to make it look like there's just no mesh in the fence. And I think that works. Not entirely sold on it, but it does work, and that's all it really needs to do. I'm not going to pay too much attention to this area. I might add a few more bits and pieces here and there to make it look finished in a way, but for now that is all that needs to be there. You can see me adding a bit more realism here. I'm going to add in, I believe they're extractor fans on the outside of the building to make it feel like it's actually being used. There's a socket. I love the sockets in Planet Zoo. I wish we had some more. I want to go back and add some decals there as well to really home in that this is an older zoo. It might have some new parts, but it's definitely older. If you go to Cardiff, to Wales for example, and you see the old buildings there, all of them have cracks, all of them have discrepancies in the buildings, and I really want to home that in, that this is actually a Welsh zoo. I know there isn't a zoo in Cardiff, and that's why I want to incorporate the building style of Cardiff, make this feel like it should fit in there, even though it possibly wouldn't in real life. So again, I'm just finishing off this area with a bit of vegetation. I don't want to add any colour into this area, or any colour that I do add is very minimal, so such as the sunflowers. Just to really home in that this isn't a flowered area, this is more wild. This is an area that is unkept but neat. Behind the fence, and the fence is a thing that I finish off with in this video. So once the fence is done, we should move on to the final videos at the back, so you can see those and experience what the bat habitat looks like on the inside. One of my favourite plants in Planet Zoo, nettles. You'll see me using that a lot. I love the nettles. I love the way that they work. I love how they look, and just the way that they can fit into anywhere that's green. I love that, and I love how they can fit so well into small spaces. So that's obviously one of my favourite plants in Planet Zoo. We're wrapping up toward, we're quickly approaching the end of this episode. We have about 2 minutes left before I leave you to the end of this video, but we are currently going to work on just increasing those fences up to where the barrier is. I wanted these fences to be static. I didn't want them to rotate downwards, so you'll see me having some struggles here, moving the fence posts up and down until they fixed into where they would be in real life. Obviously some of these fences were too big. I did have a few problems with space, but I eventually figured it out by moving the fences a bit until they would fit together. And then that is basically it for this video. I don't have much else to say. Other than thank you for the support I'm continuing to get for my videos, for Planet Zoo, for what I create with Planet Zoo. I'm really pleased by the community, and the community spirit is such a big thing that really homes in on the uniqueness of Planet Zoo, and I really hope that does stay. I know some games that are out there that don't have the support they did when they started, or 3-4 years in, which Planet Zoo is, where support stopped. And I feel like Planet Zoo has so much to offer that I feel like the community will keep it going, and that's what I really hope will happen. we're rapidly approaching the end of this video, so I shall quit my rambling about the end of Planet Zoo and just focus on everything that we've built in this episode. I know it didn't include an animal, and I do apologise for that. So that's what we're doing here. We're just finishing off those fences and really finishing off the habitat that we've created. I really like the look of it. I really like the way that it fits with the bats. You can expect that that's probably what it looked like before the zoo came in, before it developed into what it is now. And yeah, so this fence is finishing now. You can see me just adding that final little bit of detail before going into just making it seem like it works, and just finishing off the end bits, adding those nettles again, increasing the posts that otherwise hadn't been moved when I first did them. So that concludes the end of the second episode. Again, I really want to say that thank you for the support. I really, really love this. I really love Cardiff Zoo. I'm really enjoying the way we enjoy it together. And I can't wait for the next episode. The next episode will definitely be an animal episode, if not working on the prairie dogs again. But otherwise, I really hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for staying the entire 33 minutes. I really hope you like the work that I've done. Please comment, please like, please subscribe if you like what I've done. And again, thank you very much. I will leave you to the end, the last 30 seconds or so of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.